Coming up in this video, while in Latrobe, we visit a chocolate factory and then we move on to Sheffield, where we have a look at the many murals that the town is well known for. With the seasons now changing and the autumn colours coming in, we start to visit those places that have got some very pretty trees indeed. With our trip to Tasmania now coming to an end, it's time to head home. All that and more coming up in this episode. I'm Mick, and this is Sally. Together we've been caravanning Australia since the 1980s, and more recently we started to put the videos together just to show you some of what we see out there. There's a lot to see in Australia, and we hope you enjoy what we have here to show you. You can follow us on our trips via the following social media platforms. If you like the following video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Good morning everyone, and welcome to the start of another video. We're in Latrobe and quite nice here now, blue sky, sun's nice and warm. When we left Launceston this morning, God, we got out of bed and it was about 0.1 degree, I think it was. Very cold when we left, but beautiful here. So we'll have a bit of a look around at Latrobe, and at this stage we should be here for 2 nights. The campground that we're now in is only a relatively small campground, but it does the job, and that's all we wanted. There are toilets there if you haven't got your own toilets, etc. But no, very nice here. We're on a bit of green grass, and if you're lucky enough, in the early morning, the cattle will come in the paddock behind us, and you can watch them have a feed as they wander around the paddock. One other good thing with the campground, it would be less than 200 metres from the main shopping street of Latrobe. Love the old buildings in some of these smaller towns, and Latrobe is no exception. It's got its fair share of beautiful buildings. We were told about a shop in Latrobe that if we were going to go there and visit, to make sure that we went in. Now, I'm not going to try and pronounce the name of the shop because I know for a fact I won't get it right, so I'll put the name down below, and here it is there. And when you go in, there's a lot of rooms in the shop, and each room has got a different theme to it. I'm going to be game and have a go at pronouncing it, and I'm going to call it Reliquar. Now, if I'm wrong, or even if I'm right, leave a comment down below and let me know how I went. There's a lot of colour within the shop, and it's a location that you could soon lose track of time as you walked around to view everything. For those that like a good optical illusion, there is one in there, and it's on a carpet square, and when Sally stands here it looks okay, but then when you take a photo or look from the other side and come in from behind Sally, it looks like she's falling down a hole or about to fall down a hole. While we're also in Latrobe, we went down and had a look at the Axeman's Hall of Fame. Not very far from the entrance to the Axeman's Hall of Fame is the location of the big platypus. To complement the recorded history of the Axeman and the Hall of Fame, there's all these wood souvenirs that you can purchase and take away with you. The Axeman Hall of Fame is situated alongside the Mersey River. Now, at the time that we were there, we weren't aware that it was the Mersey River, and as well as that, we weren't aware that it was also tidal. and we thought it looked a bit yuck, to be honest with you, but we were there at low tide, and that's the reason why it was so low, obviously. But the trees out on the grassed area, very pretty, starting to come into those autumn colours and turning from their natural colour into what they look like today. We were on our way to Devonport for an appointment, and who can go past a chocolate factory without stopping to go in to see what they had on offer, and we were not disappointed at all. There were so many different varieties and styles of chocolates for sale here. We didn't purchase much, but we certainly made it worthwhile going in. The outside ground area surrounding the factory was certainly maintained to a high standard. Once we had left Latrobe, our next destination was going to be Sheffield, and that was only a short 26-kilometre drive. As the rain continued to keep away from Tasmania, it was another beautiful blue sky day that made travelling very enjoyable. Good morning everyone, and we've moved. We're now in Sheffield, and we'll have a look at those murals while we're here. Not sure how many nights we're going to be here, just depends what we do in the area. Another reasonably small campground, this one at near the Oval, and this time of the year, with the amount of tourists travelling around, it wasn't overly crowded at all. Sheffield is a relatively small town and by size, and with Mount Roland towering in the background, it stands at 1,234 metres tall, and a lot of hikers from around the world come to climb this mountain, and there it is now, coming in the background as we look at the picture. Sheffield is well known for all its murals that are located throughout the town, and in total there is at least 160 murals. With such a variety of so many murals here, there must be one that would suit everyone's taste. For anyone that ever wants to go and see these murals and venture into Sheffield just to see a mural or two, there's no need to ask where are they, where can I find them, because there's so many. They're on every corner and every wall that you look at, and it's very artistic. If you visit Sheffield at the right time, you'll see Sheffield's renowned alpaca man with his alpaca sitting in the street. With the time running out for our Tasmanian trip, it was time to think about heading back to Devonport, and it was there that we were going to set ourselves up for our final destination before we departed the island. In true Tasmanian style, it was another blue sky day to be out travelling amongst all these pretty trees. G'day everyone, and we're now set up at the back of the golf course, or the golf club here at Devonport, and whilst we're in Devonport we're going to go and chase some autumn colours that are coming out now, very beautiful. It was our initial intention to spend all but our last remaining night here, and once we were here and got set up and had the first night, we thought it was nice and peaceful, very quiet, no one's annoying us. So in the end, that's why we continued to stay here until we departed on the Spirit of Tasmania. Today's outing was going to have us going to the Tasman Arboretum. We did visit here when we first arrived in Tassie 3 months ago, but of course it didn't have all the autumn colours that we were hoping for today. When we arrived here at the entry gates, and when we looked down the road and saw these autumn coloured trees, it really threw the wow factor at you straight away. There is a small fee of $5 per head to enter into these gardens, and certainly well worth it. And if you're lucky enough like we were on both occasions that we were here, you'll see wild platypus swimming around in the water. Very peaceful setting, this one, and when you see that wild platypus surface in the water, it brings a smile to your face. With such a variety of trees here, some had already gone past their use-by date in regard to their autumn colours, and others were still yet to come out into full bloom. Our following day had us chasing more autumn colours, and this time we're off to the Emu Valley Rhododendron Gardens. Very pretty gardens, this one, and as we enter in and go down the road, you can take caravans down there according to the signs, but I'm not quite sure how you would turn the average 21-foot caravan around once you got down to the bottom. It would be very tight. There is an entry fee, of course, to come into these gardens, and once again I'll leave a link down below and you can have a look from that link to work out what it would cost you to come into the gardens. The various types of settings that they've got within the gardens here is absolutely outstanding, and this is one place that we're so happy that we did come and visit, and very colourful at this time of the year. We have been told that in the springtime, when all the rhododendrons are out in flower, can to some people be better than what it is now, so perhaps we'll have to come back at that point in time and have another look on another trip. These gardens here boast something like a 40+ year history, and in addition to all the unique hybrid rhododendrons cultivated by its members, they've also got rhododendrons growing in a geographically designed area of the garden that reflect the plant's origins, and these are from Asia, across the Himalayas to China, Japan and even North America. With such beauty within the gardens, it's quite easily to see why you need such a long time to walk through the entirety of it. Not quite sure why, but Port Sorell was one place that we wanted to have a look at while we're here. It's only a 29-30 kilometre drive, so today was the day we were going to venture up there for a look. It was a bit of a gloomy sort of day weather-wise for our drive up to Port Sorell, and of course once you get up into waterways and the ocean, when you got a dull day and a dark sky, it tends to take a bit of the highlight away from the area. With the waterways around Port Sorell, no doubt it would be another one of those locations that would look good from a scenic flight in a fixed-wing aircraft or helicopter. When we first arrived at Tasmania, we camped at Forth, and that's not very far from the Don River Railway, which is where we're going today. And the train wasn't running then, and as we hear now when the train's running, we were back to the Don River Railway to have a short train ride. The Don River Railway has got so many carriages and locos restored, they almost need a bigger yard to successfully store them and give people more room to walk around. It was one of these small carriages that we were going to take a ride in today. The trip to Tasmania is nearly over, and we sail back on the Spirit tonight, and once we get into Geelong, that'll be the end of this video, but for the meantime, all that we'd like to say is we've thoroughly enjoyed ourselves here in Tassie, and to the people that we've met up and had coffees and tried to meet up and unfortunately missed out on, we do thank them for their time, and we're looking forward to the trip back, but unfortunately it's going to be the end of what's been a great trip over here in Tassie, so we'll catch you on the boat on the way back over. The Spirit that was going to take us back to Geelong was due to depart at 6:45 on the Saturday night, and I reckon they were pretty much running on time. We had a very, very smooth trip going back and many hours of good sleep. When we saw the Spirit of Tasmania out the front windscreen of the vehicle, as we began our process of booking in, we knew that our trip was well and truly over. As it was when we boarded in Geelong to come over to Tasmania, the process of boarding here in Devonport was no different. It was quite easy and smooth, and the staff on board certainly gave us good directions of where we had to park everything. As we travelled along the deck to find our parking location, as it turned out, we were right up the front, near the nose of the ship. Once our vehicle and caravan were safely parked up, we ventured up to the top to our cabin, and then it was time to go outside to have one last look at Tasmania as we started to sail away. As we were returning back to the mainland on a night sail, it was our decision to have a cabin, and because it was such a smooth sailing, it was probably the wisest move that we could have done because we both had a good sleep. It was nearly daybreak when we got back to Geelong, and very interesting to watch them berth this vessel against the wharf here. Of course, these guys are doing it every day, but the way they guide everyone off the ship is very efficient in the way they do it. Good morning everyone, and we're back in Geelong, so that brings it our trip to Tasmania to an end, and early rise this morning on the Spirit after a beautiful sail over. About 4 o'clock we got out of bed, but we're all set up here in Geelong now. Sally's done a bit of washing, and we're here for a couple of days and going to head off after this. So this brings to the end our series of videos on Tasmania. Hope you've enjoyed them all, and until that next video goes up, you take care and look after yourself. If you like the video that you just watched, give us a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of our videos, click on the subscribe button, and once you've done that, change the bell notification to all. That way every time that we do uploads to our YouTube channel, you'll be notified.